Welcome to the St. Vrain Sports Report. We're glad to have you along with us. We got a good show for you, a lot to get to, including an Athlete of the Week feature on a softball player from Niwot High School. We're going to preview the regionals in softball, also take a look at what's coming up in football and other big events, including state tennis coming up later on this week. But first off, let's get to the highlights. Lots to get through there as well, starting with some volleyball and a great crosstown rivalry last week. Silver Creek at Niwot, and the Raptors coming in to this one at 12-2, riding a 7-game win streak. Niwot 6-7 overall, but they had won 2 in a row coming into this match. Cougars serving in the Raptors, Olivia Nelson sets it up perfectly for Megan Sudaroff, who pounds home the kill right there. Long volley here in Niwot, showing some great defense. First was Zoe Gibbs getting the block, and then it's Gibbs with another block to help Sydney Rothstein get it back over the net. Raptors then go for the kill, and it's Niwot's Abby Kaus with a nice defensive play to keep it alive. Eventually, it's Amy Aterion who pounds it home for the set winning point for Silver Creek. They go up 1-0 in the match. Second set, Niwot looking to rally, and it's Natasha Tarakova showing some power for the Cougars with one of her 6 kills on the night. Raptors respond with another great set by Nelson, followed by the kill from Kate Presswich. 37 assists on the night for Nelson, who's having a great season. Set point, it's Presswich again, pounding it home, and Niwot unable to return this ball as it rattles around there and falls, and Raptors go up 2-0 in this match. Third set, it's then Sudaroff with another kill for the Raptors. She had a good night. 12 kills for her on this night. Caitlin Volkman, by the way, with 21 kills, see number 12 there. She had 21 kills in this match. On match point, it's Teo Lepro with a great serve for the ace. Silver Creek wins in a sweep, and they take the season series from Niwot 2-0. Silver Creek versus Skyline in football. Falcons at 3-2, back on track after 2 straight wins. Silver Creek 3-2 with a 2-game losing streak. And early on, Mike McCrolla with a nice run, but he loses the ball, and the Raptors recover at the Skyline 28. So they are in business early, but just 3 plays later, on 3rd and long, Carter Clausen was picked off by Finn Torello, and the first career interception for the freshman, and Skyline ends that scoring threat and gets the ball right back. Late first quarter, Skyline gets rolling. Chase Silva connecting with Hayden Robinson for a 34-yard gain down to the 3-yard line. Stepped out just before the goal line there, and that would set up Silva with the QB sneak. As you see him here in a second, QB sneak following behind all those blockers, getting a little shove from a couple guys there, gets in from 3 yards out, and Skyline strikes first, gets on the board there. Second quarter, Skyline still up 7-0 when Gabriel Sosa nails a 49-yard field goal, and that would have distance for maybe 5 more yards. That made it 10-0 at the time for the Falcons. And the Falcons' Omar Morales busts through and blocks the Silver Creek punt, and the Falcons pounce on it near midfield, so they're in business once again. Moments later, Silva to Robinson for the touchdown. Silva threw for 201 yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. Raptors trying to get something going as Clausen connects with Dylan Johnson, but he fumbles, and the Falcons take over inside the 30. Great play by the Falcons, Tony Muniz, to cause that fumble. That would set up McCrolla for the short TD run, and thank goodness there's no instant replay in high school football. I think he was down just short there, but great run nonetheless. McCrolla, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's having a great season for the Falcons. Second half, Silva connects with Graydon Bridwell for the 20-yard touchdown. 147 yards in total offense for Bridwell, who had 2 touchdowns on the night. Skyline wins its 3rd in a row in dominating fashion. They are starting to hit their stride with a 52-8 victory. Greeley West at Longmont, fresh off a win against Silver Creek. Longmont came in at 3-2. Greeley West also 3-2. Trojans' Aiden Gaddis put pressure on the quarterback, tipped the pass, lands right into the hands of Dallas Dye for the easy pick 6 in the second quarter. First score of the game right there. Still second quarter, the Trojans backed up their own goal line when Keegan Patterson connected with Sage Yazzie for the 87-yard pass. Almost makes it all the way down, but he gets taken down just inside the 10-yard line. Yazzie 5 catches for 142 yards. To complete that drive, Patterson looked for Yazzie again, but he was picked off. One of the few mistakes made by Patterson, who was 15 for 20 for 300 yards in this game. Next play, the Trojans' Christian Ramirez picked off the Spartans' pass and returned it 30 yards for a touchdown. A second pick 6 for the Trojans in the first half, and they led 18-0 going into halftime. In between those two great defensive plays, Patterson connected here with Caleb Johnson for a 29-yard touchdown pass. A little offense before the half. Longmont led 18-0 at the break, like I said, and they look to be rolling in this. From the third quarter, Greeley West would come back, and Heriberto Ramirez scored from 7 yards out here. Greeley West took advantage of 3 Longmont fumbles in the third quarter. They pull within 18-14. But in the fourth, Patterson calls his own number here for the touchdown run. In addition to his 300 yards passing, he ran for 100 yards and 2 scores on the ground, both in the fourth quarter. Longmont wins its third in the row, and they are rolling along as well. So a couple great wins there for Longmont and Skyline. A few notable things in football: the Class 3A rankings, Meade at number 2, Frederick at number 6. They both have a couple big games coming up later on this week. In boys soccer, the 4A rankings, Silver Creek is at number 4. And let's take a look at the RPI standings, which matter as they're coming down to the final couple weeks of the regular season. Silver Creek number 4 in RPI. Niwot and Erie looking good at 16 and 21 respectively. Skyline right there on that line. They're at number 32. Frederick and Longmont probably on the outside looking in at this point. Skyline needs to play well down the stretch. And in Class 3A, Meade having a great season. They're at number 6. They're actually they're at number 16 right now, looking really good for making the playoffs after a couple tough seasons in a row. So Meade having a great season. In volleyball, in the Class 4A rankings, Meade is at number 7. So they continue to play great volleyball. Let's take a look at the Week 7 football scores from last week, starting with those two that we just saw the highlights of. Skyline and Longmont getting the victories there. Erie 35-7 over Northridge. The Tigers continue a pretty good season for them. Meade 48-0 over Skyview. Braden Keys, he ran the ball twice for 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, an 82-yard touchdown run and a 10-yard touchdown run. Jake Wachter, 163 yards of offense, including 110 rushing, and he had 2 touchdowns overall. Frederick 45-7 over Northfield. They keep rolling along. Jake Green 6 for 8, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also ran for 81 yards and 2 scores. Jackson Raymer, by the way, 3 sacks on defense. Thompson Valley 41-0 over Niwot, and Flatirons Academy 41-7 over Lions. So the Lions still looking for that first win, and Niwot with a tough one there as they've had a couple setbacks in a row now. Let's take a look at the Week 8 football schedule. Several big games coming up later on this week. Starting with Thursday night, several games on Thursday. Holy Family at Frederick. Holy Family at 3-3. Frederick at 6-0. Warriors have outscored their last 4 opponents 230-26. This one promises to be a better matchup here, though, as Holy Family is a better matchup for Frederick than the last 4 opponents. Northfield at Meade. Mavericks are 6-0. Northfield at 1-5. The Mavericks should move on to 7-0. Greeley Central at Silver Creek at 7 o'clock over at the stadium on Thursday night. On Friday, Erie at Niwot over at the stadium. Both teams 3-3, but Erie has won its North Valley League opener, and while Niwot lost, so Niwot needs a victory there. Skyline at Monarch. Falcons look for their 4th win in a row. Coyotes are 2-4. Longmont goes up to Windsor. Trojans seeking their 4th win in a row against Windsor, which is 1-5. And then Lions at Estes Park. Lions 0-6. Estes Park 3-3. And the Lions looking to get off the schneid there and get their first victory. Well, in softball, we're going to take a look at the state softball tournament here in a second. But one of the better players in this area for the last 4 years has been Reagan Wills, the catcher over at Niwot High School, a 4-year varsity player. And check out these numbers: 475 career batting average, 131 runs, 131 hits, 102 runs, 101 RBIs. That's a lot of hundreds right there. This season, 427, 9 doubles, 26 RBI, 27 runs. The Cougars are 12-11, and they have made the state tournament. And Reagan Wills, their catcher, is our athlete of the week.
This has been a great season. I mean, especially when you look at from where we started to where we are now. I mean, just the growth and the way the camaraderie on the team has changed. We've gotten so much closer as a group of girls, and we really have each other's backs now. You know, where at the beginning of the season, I think people had a more individual mindset, and now we are a whole, and I think it's affecting the way that we play. You know, Bobby talks about it a lot. Our team approach, no matter what the score is, as long as we come out with a W, we're happy. You know, it could be 19-17, 18-14, look like a football game, but if we come out on top, that's all that matters. Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, it's kind of the last hurrah, so, you know, trying to make the most of it. And, you know, I've been here for 4 years now, so pretty good feeling to be where I am. Coming in, I didn't even know what I just came out here. Bobby didn't know who I was. It was kind of me just coming out of the middle of nowhere, and it turned into like a full-blown career, which is pretty crazy. So I'm just so happy with my past 4 years. I've loved it. My dad played baseball in college. My brother was going to play baseball in college. My mom played softball when she was younger. It's a whole family line of just this sport. So I grew up around it. I've been playing since I could pick up a bat, a wiffle ball bat, whatever. Forever. And I've been a catcher forever too. So I love it. Kind of a control freak. I like to be in charge and see the field and know where everybody is, and I think I feel safer when game's in my hand, the ball's in my hand. I'm really excited to wrestle this year, and especially now that they're having a girls division where girls can really compete and I can win girls state, or I can go try to do that. I have opportunities to win, and I'm really excited to get to wrestle at my level and build that strength and that endurance, and then carry that into college softball. So that's kind of the big picture for that. It'll be a lot of fun to step out of my comfort zone, because all I've ever done is softball. That's it. That's all my parents would ever let me do. So softball's it, and I'm really branching out now with wrestling, and it'll be fun to see how I do. I don't think I'll be half bad. I think I'll be okay. I hope. Hey, I'm going to play for Carleton College, which is up in Minnesota. It's a great school. I'm hoping to go to law school in the future, so I wanted to build a good foundation, have a good undergrad, and also just go somewhere where I like playing softball, and because I love this sport, and I want to maximize my years of playing, and so I'm stoked to go to Carleton. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right, thank you very much to Reagan Wills for giving us some time out here this week, and look forward to seeing the Cougars see what they can do down at the regional tournament this week. Let's take a look at those regionals. There are 4 local teams involved, and starting with Region 3 at Wheat Ridge, number 12 Erie, 16-7. They started 13-0, just 3-7 in their last 10. They take a 4-game losing streak into the playoffs, so very unusual for Erie the way they're limping into the playoffs. They will play Ponderosa in the first round. Now, in each of these regionals, 2 of the 4 teams will make it out, so you got to win. There's double elimination there, so there is some leeway there. Region 6, Silver Creek, that will be at Garden Acres Park in Longmont. They are 18-5, 4-game win streak. Junior Maddie Kuehl, 14-4 as a pitcher, 183 strikeouts in 108 innings. They will play Air Academy in the first round. Region number 7 at Pueblo Central. Meade is the number 10 seed there, 16-7 overall, 11-2 in their last 13 games, 4-game win streak. Freshman Jocelyn Veltine, 15-4, 2.81 ERA, 113 strikeouts. She is playing great softball this year. They'll play Pueblo East, and then Niwot, the number 26 seed. 12-11 overall. 9+ runs in 7 straight games now. Pitcher Aaliyah McComas back from injury. She was 4-1. She's missed a lot of games, so they need her back. They're back in the playoffs for the 6th time in 9 years under Coach Bobby Matthews. They played number 7 Pueblo Central, and we were able to talk to Coach Matthews this week about Niwot being back in the playoffs, as well as all the other teams. He knows all the other teams very well. We're able to catch up with Coach Matthews about the regional softball tournament coming up later this week.
I mean, we're back. It's familiar for us, not familiar so much for the team. We were there last year, but it was new to them. This year there was the expectation all season, and we got off to a great start, and our pitcher got hurt, and we managed to keep it together and get in, and that's at this point everybody's 0-0. It's simple for us. I mean, you need to hit it where it's pitched, and you got to make routine outs. We don't need spectacular plays. We don't need you to do the amazing play. We just need you to make the routine play. If they give you an out, take the out, and offensively, just put the ball in play. I mean, 4 is you know, it could have been 5. We had some teams just barely miss, and you know, that's unfortunate. I love that we represent really well. The St. Vrain Valley School District, you know, really does a great job of producing softball players, and not just softball teams that are going to state. It's teams that can contend. I mean, with Erie and Silver Creek being 2 of the top teams all year, and Meade is an upstart, really good program. They have a great freshman pitcher. You know, they could do really well at the state tournament. Hopefully it's us and Meade coming out of that region, and you know, all 4 of us are in the state tournament. And that would be huge. I mean, you're going to have to face each other, but you know, it would be awesome.
All right, so Niwot, one of those 4 teams in the area heading out to regionals, and they've got a great shot with their pitcher back, and they can hit the ball really well. So looking forward to seeing if all 4 teams can make it into the final 16 and on to state next week. In the 2A softball regionals, let's take a look. Lions will be there as well. They are 13-10, just 3-6 in their last 9 games, however. But Hannah Schweiger, the junior, hitting .520 with 42 ribbies, 16 doubles and 5 triples this season. They will play Holyoke down in Thornton later on this week. There's 3 teams in those regionals. They need to be one of 2 to come out of it. So as long as they win that first game, they should be okay. But lots of good softball. Could potentially have 5 local teams make it onto state later on next week. Also later on this week is state tennis. And 4A tennis is down at Pueblo City Park. We have lots of state qualifiers. Let's take a look at that list, starting with Longmont. They got most of their team in. Henry Matheson at singles, the sophomore, and Danny O'Brien, the junior, at number 2 singles. 3 doubles teams made it in for the Trojans this week. Niwot, they got their entire team in, as they typically do, starting with Neil Wilcox, the number 1 singles player, and Sam Coronin, the number 2 singles player, and then senior Ben Bicknell made it at number 3. Also, they got all 4 doubles teams in. Silver Creek, they were able to get 3 qualifiers in, all in doubles. They did a great job over at regionals at the doubles side of things. And Skyline, their number 3 singles player, James Wongsedon, he gets in as a junior, and he will go down to state as well. So that'll be down at Pueblo City Park Thursday through Saturday. And hopefully, weather permitting, doesn't have to be shortened as it has been in the past. But some good tennis. Niwot usually does pretty well. Longmont, bringing almost a full team, should be able to do well down there as well. Other events coming up later on this week. Let's check those out. And cross-country regionals are coming up all over the area. In Class 2A, Region 1 at Lyons High School. Now, you see both of those at Lyons High School. It's a big meet. A lot of schools will be there. They kind of pack it all in. That's a great place to go watch some cross-country on Thursday afternoon. The Region 1 meet, or Region 1 meet in 2A, that will involve Lyons and Twin Peaks locally. That'll be at 4 o'clock. Now at 2:30, things will get started. Region 4 for Class 4A, that will be Erie, Frederick, Longmont, Meade, Silver Creek, and Skyline. That will start at 2:30. Boys and girls will go there. Now Niwot, the only local team that's not up at Lyons, they will be at Class 4A Region 3 at City Park in Denver. That will be Friday at 2 p.m. But lots of great cross country. Lyons High School, the place to be on Thursday afternoon. In boys soccer, a big one, Longmont at Silver Creek on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Silver Creek looking to keep things going and keep their playoff push going later on this week against Longmont. In volleyball, several crosstown matchups. Meet at Skyline on Thursday night. These are all Thursday night. Silver Creek at Longmont, that'll be a big one as the Raptors look to keep things going. And small schools, Longmont Christian at Twin Peaks on Thursday night at 6 p.m. So lots of good volleyball coming up on Thursday night. Well, we want to thank Blaine Robinson and Don Gerton for all the behind-the-scenes work they do on this show, as well as Blaine and Tim Ellis and Quinn McCain for our video. They do a great job for us every week getting all that video for us. Want to check out bocopreps.com and the Longmont Times Call. They'll get you up to date on everything going on in high school sports in the area. Also, like us on Facebook and check us out at the web at longmontchannel.com, where you can watch this or any other programs you like here on Channel 8. And as always, we want to thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next week.